Chris, let's just get the January transfer window, the regular questions. Any news to report from Rovers ins or outs?
Well, let's just say we're in discussions. I think most of the managers would say the same. So what we don't want to do is overload our squad that have done really well with players, unless they're going to go into the team or improve us dramatically. And you know, our players have been fantastic for us. So we have to be very careful with what we do, but we're certainly being active as everybody else is, speaking to agents and fellow managers and coaches. So I'd say there will be some developments, but at the moment, this week, you know, it could go either way. But we're certainly looking.
And in terms of outgoings, either permanent or loans, anything there?
Same thing, really. I mean, for the players as well, they have to look after themselves, whether it be contractual or game time. And we've said from the start, we don't want to stand in players' way if they're not getting a regular look in with us. But we have to protect the football club. The most important thing for us is Bristol Rovers, and we have to make the right decisions. If players do want to leave, we have to make sure it's right for the club. So I'd say by the end there will be some movement, but at the moment we want to protect the players and tell them how good they are before we do anything.
Lots of positives since Graham took charge. Goals. How do you get more goals from the team? I mean, I was just looking at your league goals this season. Your top scorer in the league has just 3 goals.
I know.
That has to improve, doesn't it?
Well, it does, and it's something that we have been working on. I think we have had a couple of clean sheets, but not scored. Previously, we had looked dangerous and scored. Teams we're playing perhaps are putting a low block on. It makes it very difficult to score goals. But it's something we're working hard on in training for sure. It's certainly not through a lack of pitch time, training pitch time, should I say. And again, it's something that we've come into the job, and you cannot change things miraculously straight away. It's a process you have to go through to try and look at something different, to try and get a different result. Again, we wouldn't close the door on people coming in, but they have to be better. And at the moment, yes, we haven't scored the goals we wanted to, but we've got some very, very talented footballers in the building, and it's trying to get the best out of those players and give those players the chances. It's, you know, it's not always about the attacking players, the forwards. It's about them having chances to score. You know, if you don't get 4 or 5 chances a game, it becomes very difficult as a striker. So it's a whole team ethic, I think, we're looking at, rather than just pointing the finger at the forwards and saying, where's the goals?
Michael Kelly,
yes,
he's been linked with Premier League clubs this week. I mean, I won't ask you to comment on that, but I had a really interesting chat with him. He admitted against Yeovil pre-season he felt a bit like a boy, and yet here he is now, 6 months on. He's coming on leaps and bounds.
Well, he's been brilliant for the club. Honestly, I mean, I signed him from Leicester. I gave him a chance with the under-21s, and he was fantastic in that environment. He was a real leader, and he's done the same with the first team. You know, he's not frightened by it. He wants to be out at the Mem. It's always a sign when someone doesn't fear it that'll be okay. And it's great that there's interest in him. You know, he's a really grounded lad, and I think that he's not getting too carried away. All he needs to do is keep being consistent for us, really, and his future will take care of itself. I think it's another indicator that if you look at Luke Russ, he's one that the academy have produced, and he's in and around the first team. Michael Kelly's someone that I outsourced because at the time we didn't have that left back. So there is room for that type of negotiation, whether it be through your academy or outsourcing players. They've both been good examples for me of how it can work.
A lot of teams hunting Bristol Rovers at the moment. 3 teams just 1 point behind
yes.
you. I mean, you are out the relegation zone at the moment, but you've got to keep this up.
Well, it's tight, isn't it? I mean, we're not hiding from the fact it's super tight. You know, we know that, but unless I'm mistaken, I think when we took over it was 4 points adrift. So you have to say that it's a 5-point gain, and that was in a team that wasn't full of confidence. We're disappointed not to have won in our last couple of league games, but for maybe a just that clinical finish we would have done. So we have to keep saying and remaining positive that it's been a real good period. But you just want more all the time, don't you? Because everyone else has been winning.
Yeah.
And that. But I keep saying to the lads, and we keep discussing it, had we have not won as well, it would have been game over. You'd be so many points adrift. So the positives far outweigh the negatives for me. And all of the staff and the players are fighting every day to get that win to take us away. And it can at the moment, can't it? Because it's so tight with the teams above. I think what we have done is drawn teams into it. We've drawn teams back, and that's what we aim to keep doing, to be honest.
And a word on Wycombe finally, who were 20 minutes away from a fifth successive league defeat. 2-0 down, they won 3-2 last
week. Game. Yeah, Doncaster played very well for periods. You know, I like the way Grant sets his teams up. But Gareth's done a fantastic job. I know him really well. He's a great lad. What they've done on the budget that they have is tremendous. And they're a really robust, strong side with some dangerous players. It's a tough game. Well, they're all tough, aren't they? And they'll be buoyed by that win. They needed it. But we just have to concentrate on ourselves. We know what Wycombe are about, their dangers, but we just have to keep looking at ourselves. Where can we improve? Where can we do well? Keep telling the players that they're talented and good players, which they are, and try and get the best out of them. It is a big game on Saturday, and we need the fans to be behind us, which they always are, whether there's a bit of adversity or not. But they're all big. Every game's big from now to the end of the season. There's no hiding from it. You just got to embrace it and believe you've got the tools to do it.
Thank you.